Hi, welcome to She Spice. So, as all of you know at this point, Kendrick Lamar marked Drake a colonizer on his Dislike Us, and fans have been saying that Kendrick basically voiced what everybody's been murmuring regarding for quite a long time. They're guaranteeing Drake has been appropriating dark American culture wearing it like an outfit when it suits him and when it's beneficial, yet hang on, in light of the fact that that is only a hint of something larger. Fans are presently additionally pulling receipts on Drake's lip. Ting dark American culture in the most strange ways he's been discovered, making a joke of dark injury, disregarding people of color, spending time with known bigots. That this simply continues furthermore, on and presently, in a curve that is exemplary. Drake, he's playing the casualty card. He's blaming the dark American people group for disregarding him since he's biracial, Jewish, and Canadian. Yet, we should be genuine fans, rush to direct out that this doesn't have anything to do with his race, ethnicity, or religion. Everything revolves around validness, and as per numerous, Drake is truly ailing in that area. In any case, how precisely did Drake slight dark Americans this time? What's his main problem with dark America at any rate? How about we make quick work of this? You can pass judgment on me, assuming you need that. That is cool. Like eventually it will be inescapable that your sweetheart will play it, your mother will need to pay attention to it, and your sibling will resemble it. Could you at any point get Dar to give me your signature? So I mean, you should simply get with the present moment. So how about we start with a few foundations on Drake and his childhood, since it appears to be this might be the wellspring, everything being equal, weaknesses, and on second thought of resolving these issues, Drake simply imagines that he has had specific encounters and pasts that he hasn't gotten some information about his childhood. Drake previously asserted he developed up exceptionally poor. However, at that point he later changed his story and explained that he experienced childhood in a rich area, and he simply wasn't too off as his companions. And afterward there's the entire road rapper persona that Drake has been cautiously working for the past 10 years by partnering himself with rappers who really carried on with that road life, embracing their dialect, and now and again, even explicitly taking their entire stream. Yo Drake, watch your meeting. He says with you at first, he should reach one of my chiefs, so he doesn't do it that very week he plays. And the entire time Drake is around here, imagining he's survived these intense encounters when he truly hasn't. It's practically similar to he's committing social taken boldness. And for somebody like Kendrick Lamar, who utilizes hip-hop to handle his troublesome genuine encounters, it's basically ill-bred for Drake to adulterate the class for his own benefit. So what's going on with Drake's personality emergency? For what reason does he want to carry on like Drake to adulterate the class for his own benefit? So what's going on with Drake's personality emergency? For what reason does he want to carry on like somebody? He's not character issues. Aubrey Drake Graham was brought into the world on October 24, 1986 in Toronto, Ontario. His father, Dennis Graham, is an African-American drummer from Memphis who used to play with Jerry Lee Lewis, and his mother, Sandra Sandy Graham, is a Canadian Ashkenazi Jew who filled in as an English educator and a flower vendor. Dennis Graham was performing at Club Blue Note in Toronto when he met Sandra, who was in the crowd. They began dating and got hitched not long after anyway. They split when Drake was only 5 after the separation. Drake remained in Toronto with his mother while his father moved back to Memphis and spent quite a while in jail on drug-evaluated charges because of monetary and legitimate difficulties. Dennis couldn't get back to Canada until Drake was in his initial adulthood. However, before his imprisonment, he would visit Toronto and take Drake with him to Memphis throughout the late spring. Growing up, Drake went to a Jewish day school and even had a Jewish rite of passage. He was brought up in 2 neighborhoods. He and his mother previously lived on Weston Street in Toronto's working-class West End until 2000, when they moved to one of the city's well-off areas. Backwoods Slope at 15, Drake was acquainted with a secondary school companion's dad, an acting specialist. He found Drake a job on the Canadian youngster show series DISR3SPECTFUL. Grassy the Cutting Edge, wherein Drake depicted Jimmy Creeks, a baseball star who turned out to be genuinely impaired after he was shot by a schoolmate. Now, when he was asked back in 2011 about his initial acting vocation, Drake said, "My mom was extremely wiped out. We were exceptionally unfortunate, like broke. The main cash I had coming in was from Canadian television anyway. Drake then, at that point, explained that what he implied by poor was poor in contrast with different children in his school. He said, "I went to class with kids that were flying personal luxury planes. This person circulates Rolex in Canada, and this individual claims turtle vehicle wax, and this individual possesses root stress, and I went to class with kids who were extremely lucky I never fit in. I was rarely acknowledged, yet I'll allow you to watch this class just to provide you with a thought of what Drake implies when he says he was extremely unfortunate." What's up, everyone? You're chilling with me. Awi Graham, this is the front room, and it's quite rich, and I sort of leave this by itself. It's excessively too much for me. This is our magnificent cooler, with stock beginning the base, and afterward through here. This is my solace region. As you can see, I as of late did clothing. This is really an exceptionally decent lounge chair, and the shoes are something major. I got him from base to top, and now Drake has guaranteed that growing up biracial Jewish and Canadian made him feel like an untouchable, and clearly he battled to make companions at school. Melissa asks, tweets Drake claims he wasn't cool in secondary school. What made you awful? I simply didn't. There was, and it wasn't so much that I wasn't cool. It was that the children that were cool, I didn't really. And I wasn't on their frequency, which made me kind of tedious. I surmise, so like you know, it was, I just consistently felt like an untouchable. I went when I was in Backwoods Slope. You realize I was in all Jewish school, like in simply being biracial, yet being Jewish. So I was like sort of associated with the children. However, like kind of far off, and when children are youthful, they don't be guaranteed to understand everything. So it can get a little horrible and a little mean. You get prodded a ton, better believe it. No doubt. I mean, I got it. You realize I got it. Certainly were you raised Jewish. By your dislike, you dislike cussed. Omari Jew or like very strict Jewish. We praised each occasion, and you realize I really had a Jewish rite of passage. Yet, definitely, I was brought up in a Jewish family, I would agree. My mom's you realize my mom was continuously, as you do, what fulfills you to be with who you need to be with, and for however long you're cheerful, for however long you're protected, and you're not bringing inconvenience into my house. We're great, but rather than tending to those frailties he had about his character, Drake has been putting on this troublemaker persona that simply doesn't match his genuine encounters. And that is not all he did. He's additionally been found deriding dark American culture, apparently. Threatening dark Americans deliberately. So is this why rappers in the US are currently betraying Drake? What precisely did he do to procure that colonizer's partner or colonizer? Drake's place in dark American hip jump culture has forever been a hotly debated issue, particularly now with his continuous fight with Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick truly pulled out all the stops, guaranteeing that Drake shouldn't actually be permitted to utilize the nerd any longer, since it simply doesn't sound right coming from him. And afterward, he bet everything by calling Drake a colonizer. And with this, Kendrick is recommending that Drake has been appropriating dark American culture for his own advantage, dealing with it like an outfit he puts on at whatever point it's helpful or productive. This allegation has ignited a gigantic discussion among fans and pundits, the same many accept Kendrick's words, cut profound in light of the fact that they feature an example where Drake appears to cherish parts of dark culture that support his picture or profession. It's certainly mixing the pot and making everybody investigate Drake's actual connection with the way of life he cases to address. The most entertaining thing to me right presently is that whether you're a Drake fan, Kendrick fan, anyone, the way that Drake answers having the option to say the word, you understand what I'm talking about. How do you shield that? You either two-fold down and say how dark you are, which is bizarre, or you totally disregard it, as Drake frequently has. Everyone responded to this Drake line, Mito, shut your butt up and make a few drums. It was comical, yet presently everyone's responding to this Kendrick line. I even disdain the manner in which you say the word, yet that is simply me. I surmise hearing this line, you just can take it two different ways. You either see it like Drake's dark, he could say the word, not his shortcoming. He's fair looking. What is it that you expect from him? Kendrick, or you can share with Kendrick and his suggestion that Drake participates in the abuse of dark culture on the grounds that Kendrick didn't say goodness. Drake's not dark. He didn't say Drake is blended. And Drake is fair looking. He said we would rather not hear you say no more. We try not to need to. That is a lot of social ramifications, more so than a character or ethnic ramifications. It's all a more so discussing double dealing of the way of life of hip jump, which is based and established in American obscurity. Anyway, Kendrick isn't the first to get down on Drake for apparently affronting dark American culture while benefiting from it for a really long time. There have been murders and inside and out allegations that Drake cozies up to rap craftsmen, repeating their sound and style for his own benefit and afterward continues on toward his next project. Huge names. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.